Do you remember iconic movies like The Wolf of Wall Street or American Psycho? They were a representation of a new philosophy that began to rewrite the economy, our workplaces, and our values in the 1970s. Today, data suggests that since the 1970s, we have experienced a steady decline in breakthrough innovation by 5% per year, reaching 80% in between the 80s and 2010, as well as a spike in academic misconduct. For at least 20 years now, negative emotions have been rising more than positive ones. Inequalities are intensifying, suicides and self-harm among young adults are rising, and power abuse has become a global phenomenon, from the local level of office bullying to the international level of geopolitical conflict. What exactly happened through the 1970s that might explain these trends? Between the 70s and the 80s, a new figure started emerging across the globe: the business expert. We see them in the high-octane fraud of Jordan Belfort in the movie The Wolf of Wall Street by Martin Scorsese, based in 1987.
And whoever speaks first loses.
Or in The Cold Mask of Patrick Bateman in the movie American Psycho, a narcissistic serial killer working as an investment banker during the 80s. Many people became interested in studying business and management, attracted by the big career opportunities granted by the field. To understand the scale of the shift, consider that Frederick Shepard reports that in 1995, approximately 300,000 bachelor degrees were awarded to business and management students in the United States, 1/5 of all degrees conferred that year. Driven by aggressive capitalism, this new manager was depicted as a ruthless rather than a compassionate being, on many occasions as a narcissist. A 2010 study by Westerman et al. Found that business students present statistically higher rates of narcissism compared to other students. Crucially, their study also revealed that narcissists tend to have an easier time finding jobs, achieving promotions, and securing higher salaries. A 2015 study by Assa et al. Found similar results for psychopathy. Another study by Westerman et al. Highlighted that narcissistic faculty tend to give higher performance reviews to narcissistic students, while creating detrimental outcomes for non-narcissists. As the research warns, a rising tide of employee narcissism could present significant problems for organizations, their productivity, and long-term profitability. But who are these narcissists? They happen to have already built a particularly solid negative reputation within the sphere of emotional relationships. Narcissists are defined by a desperate need for admiration. They tend to feel special, so that rules are meant for others but not for them, often resulting in double standards and incoherence. And as a result, they tend to believe that their behavior is always justified, leading to forms of control and manipulation through lies, gaslighting, and passive-aggressive revenge tactics. They often make you feel like trash because your worth is usually depending on their personal gains. And if you spot their tactics or refuse to play their game, they may either retaliate or play the victim, so that in the end, it is you the one that has to apologize. Research has highlighted that they are unable to face any type of criticism. However, please remember that presenting just one or two traits does not qualify for narcissism. A critical parameter that characterizes narcissists is their lack of empathy. This lack of empathy is substituted by an oversized sense of self-importance. The study by Simard et al. That reviewed knowledge about narcissism and empathy until 2022 highlighted agentic extraversion to be negatively associated with affective empathy, empathic concern, and empathic distress. This basically means that narcissists are scientifically less concerned with others and their eventual harm. Their sense of entitlement and different ethical standards lead to legitimizing dishonest behavior. This is valid in relationships, business, and academic sectors. Like in the myth of Narcissus, narcissists tend to value the superficial. Research shows that they are good at first impressions. Eventually, these impressions may get them jobs and promotions, but research highlights that these positive impressions rarely last long. Probably for this reason, narcissists tend to prioritize short-term strategies to exploit maximum advantage in the shortest period of time. All these pieces of research, the fast ride to success and the tendency to manipulation and dishonesty, seems to explain why this article by Ioannis et al. Found higher rates of retraction among researchers characterized by younger publication age, higher self-citation rates, and larger publication volume, which basically means that these researchers exploded at a younger age to arrive quickly to the top. This retraction often represents fake knowledge. The problem with first impressions and short-term strategies is that they may indeed hide profound incompetence. Listen to what Paul Graham, the creator of Y Combinator, which is probably the most famous tech accelerator in the world, and behind products like Airbnb, Reddit, or Dropbox, was saying about business and management students.
They meet someone who seems impressive, but about whom they feel some misgivings. And then later, when things blow up, they say, you know, I knew there was something wrong about that guy, but I ignored it because he seemed so impressive. And there's a specific sub-case in business, especially if you come from an engineering background, as I believe you all do. You think business is supposed to be this sort of slightly distasteful thing. And so when you meet people who seem smart but somehow distasteful, you think, well, okay, this must be normal for business, but it's not.
An interesting contribution on these lines already emerged in the 80s, when Robert Hayes and William Abernathy, two professors of business administration, titled an article, Managing Our Way to Economic Decline. They observed that since the mid-60s, corporate leadership had shifted away from people with technical and engineering background towards generalists with finance and legal backgrounds. They eventually contested the shift, the idea that management was a self-sufficient skill, and raised alarms that this shift might lead to short-term thinking and the death of long-term innovation. Apparently, this article was highly criticized at the time. Similarly, in a paper from 2005 titled Bad Management Theories Are Destroying Good Management Practices, Sumantra Ghoshal, professor of strategic and international management at the London Business School, was writing, "Many of the worst excesses of recent management practices have their roots in a set of ideas that have emerged from business school academics over the last 30 years. MBA students are not alone in having learned for decades these theories of management. Hundreds of thousands of executives who attended business courses have learned the same lessons. Even those who never attended a business school have learned to think in these ways because these theories have been in the air, legitimizing some actions and behaviors of managers, delegitimizing others. Why then do we feel surprised by the fact that executives in Enron, Global Crossing, Tyco, and scores of other companies granted themselves excessive stock options, treated their employees very badly, and took their customers for a ride when they could? Of far greater concern is the general delegitimation of companies as institutions and of management as a profession. This, of course, does not mean that all managers are like that, as there are some great people out there. The risk, however, is that we have been gathering a specific personality type for decades. We have justified an idea of natural man as a self-interested beast when we can actually argue we are social at heart. And we have sent them to take top managerial and policy-making positions, managing things they often do not understand.
And what exactly did you mean when you talked about the transparent eighth?
How to better explain? I'm sure you know what transparent means.
Yes, I do.
And what a red line means. I hope I don't need to explain to you.
Of course not.
Well, You need to draw a red line with transparent ink.
Could you describe what you imagine the end result would look like?
Oh, come on, Anderson, what have we got here? Kindergarten.
No, I'm just trying to get
Let's
Were these studies at least making managing people better as they are supposed to? But instead, researchers highlight that bullying in the workplace may be actually rising. The most worrying thing indeed is that these people actually don't care. Therefore, if you have a problem, an organization may choose to support you only if it is convenient to them. We have engineered a narcissistic society when we need empaths and people with technical backgrounds in the direction of the public interest.
There's too many managers already. The world is short of leaders. Leadership is the most valuable commodity on the planet, and it is the rarest commodity we have. It's not food, the lack of food, it's not the lack of water, it's not oil or minerals, it's leadership. But it's not any form of leadership. It's the Townsonian model of doing it without ego.
Today, concerns about the strong negative effects of narcissism in the workplace are rising. O'Reilly and Doerr write, recently, organizational researchers have become increasingly concerned with the potentially destructive consequences of narcissistic leadership. Evidence indicates that grandiose narcissists both aspire to and frequently achieve leadership roles in organizations. However, because narcissists are principally motivated to pursue their own interests, have lower ethical standards, and are willing to transgress social norms, they can put the institutions they lead at risk. Some researchers are even highlighting narcissism as a barrier to sustainable development. The question is, and here I conclude, can our management schools self-adjust? It is funny that in 2015, the journal Academy of Management Learning and Education hosted a special edition named Questions Business Schools Don't Ask. One of the accepted papers was titled, Is Narcissism Undermining Critical Reflection in Our Business Schools? As with narcissistic personality disorder itself, realizing there is a problem is usually the real barrier to starting treatment. Overall, I believe that we need empaths today to resolve our crisis of emotions and bring us into sustainability. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.